Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Brittany. I read books, I review books, and I recommend books. So if you are looking for a new book to read, you are in the right place. Today I will be doing a review on River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. Hopefully I'm saying it right. I actually borrowed this book from someone at my job. I was like leaving her office one time and she had like a stack of 4 books and I'm like, and she was like, yeah, sure, take it, borrow it, read it, whatever. So I'm done and now it's time to review it. So I'm just gonna jump right in with like a quick summary. So River Sing Me Home, the main character her name is Rachel, however you want to say it, and she is a slave at the start of the book. And she basically is on a plantation in Barbados and decides she's gonna run away. So the story like starts off with her running away from the plantation and like heading for the sea. And the quickest of summaries is that she searches Barbados, leaves Barbados, goes to Guyana, searches Guyana, leaves Guyana, goes to Trinidad, searches Trinidad in search of the children that she lost. Pretty much. I guess, mini spoiler alert, she does not find all of the children that she lost. I won't tell you how many she was looking for or how many she found. But yeah, I mean, like, it would be kind of silly. Well, not really silly, but it would be kind of like childish, I feel like, if like she had just found all of them, like, oh yeah, like, awesome. But she didn't. So hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler. Yes, this book is a slavery book, but it's more than a slavery book, if that's like sort of like cliche to say. Like, it talks about Rachel's strength and like I can't even imagine like what it was like to be living in those times and then building up the courage after enduring so much to decide to leave, all the dangers there is of like being hunted down and taken back, and like the consequences she would have faced if she was like, captured and brought back to her plantation. So yes, it's a slavery book, but it also talks about like Rachel's strength and her resilience and just like the resilience overall of Black people that were slaves. The book also talks about like a family's love, which is really sweet, and like an overall message that like you could start over at any time. I felt like this book really wanted to like drive that home for many of the characters, but like more so Rachel, and I really like that. So yeah, that's the summary. Some of the things that I liked about this book, so obviously I like that it's set in like the Caribbean and like many different Caribbean countries, because that resonates with me, obviously being Trinidadian. I felt like Rachel was like my mom or like my aunt. Like, she was very much relatable and like felt closer to me. And I also liked that like in this book the main character was like older. I feel like in many of the books that I read, the main character is like a Black woman in her 20s or a Black woman in her 30s or a Black man in his 20s or 30s, and like they didn't give her exact age obviously, but like you could tell that she was older. They talked about like her bones aching and her body aching from all the years of being a slave. So that was new, that was different. I really like that. I really love the like artwork. I didn't even have this on my list, but like look at this cover, it's so gorgeous. It's like, I'm assuming this is Rachel, and then there's like these hummingbirds. This one's a hummingbird. I guess they're all the same bird, and it goes over onto the back. And then I can also show you the author. Yeah, and so I liked that. I also feel like I got like an even better understanding of what slavery or post emancipation was like, and the fact that yes, they were legally emancipated, but people were still like stuck in apprenticeships and just trying to like get a clear understanding of like navigating what that was like. I feel like I really could understand it from this book, which I guess could be like a like and a dislike, because like who wants to have a super clear understanding of stuff that oppressed your people for a bunch of years? But hey, the chapters were really good. It wasn't told from different perspectives. I know I like talk about that every single episode, every single review that I do, but this one was mostly just Rachel sharing her journey. Dislikes, I would say, is some of the reunions. Some of the reunions seemed a bit too easy. For example, I'm not gonna tell you like which person it was that she like found, but she was like walking down a street and happened to look into a building window, and there was her son slash daughter, I'm not gonna tell you, and she like found her. It's just like, maybe, but there was like a couple of them that just seemed way too like cliche and easy to be, I don't know. You could read it and tell me if you thought differently. And then something else that I didn't really like. I mean, it might be like a bit unfair for me to like expect this from books, but I just needed the book to just bring the action. And I feel like there were a few chapters in this book where I kind of like went through it a bit slower because it was a slower chapter, if that makes sense. Like if it's not like moving like energy and action, then I don't really have that much desire to like power through. So this book kind of took me a longer time than it would have, just because of those like slower chapters, if that makes sense. But overall, it was a really well written book. You will like the characters, you will like the story. There are some chapters that are a bit like tough to read if you don't want to read about like slavery and like abuse, or if you don't want to read about like losing family members and stuff like that. But it wasn't overbearing for me. I know that every person has their own like tolerance of that kind of stuff, but ever since I read A Thousand Splendid Suns and Kite Runner, things just don't compare. But other than that, I think it was a good read. It was very, you know, like you feel connected to the characters. You want them to win. You want them to be successful. You want them to make it. And then by the end, it ends really sweetly. And then you get like why the book is called River Sing Me Home and all of the overall deeper meanings. So yeah, I would give this book like, I would give it 4 stars. I would give it 4. It's a good read. So if you are interested in like reading something with an older main character, a little bit of like history, but also storytelling set in the Caribbean with a nice bow at the end, sort of, this is the book for you. I feel like that was pretty quick, but this book really didn't have that much to like ramble on about. It was like just straight to the point. So let me know if you've read River Sing Me Home before, or if not, you feel like, might give it a try. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with a fellow reader. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.